Hi, everybody, and welcome to a special edition of Too Opinionated, where I'm thrilled to be joined tonight by two gentlemen. I've got Mark Roberts from Dead Cards, who has been on with us before. You guys remember that episode. It was one of our most popular episodes. And I've got Vincent M Ward, actor, with me, and we are so thrilled to have you on, Vincent. This is a big night for us, so welcome.
And I appreciate you guys having me. Thank you.
We're excited about you too, Mark, but not quite as much.
Yeah, that's all right.
Mark's a veteran. He's a veteran.
Normally people who listen to the show know that my son's usually on here, Brett, with me, and he said, "Well, who do we got, Dad? I've got a class tonight." And I said, "Well, we got Vincent Ward. He's he's on The Walking Dead." And he's like, "Oh, I love The Walking Dead." He's like, maybe I get out of the class. He's like, "Who else?" And I was like, "Well, we got Mark Roberts from Dead Cards. You remember Mark?" And he's like, "Yeah, I probably better go to class."
Hey, I'm glad I could help.
Those kids, I tell you.
Oh, shoot. Well, Vincent,
I remember Brett from way back.
Yeah, I know. So Mark's son and Brett took a trip when they were little to see Thomas the Train.
Oh.
Yeah, it was the four of us, right? You and me and the boys.
Yep.
And yeah, you haven't lived till you've been on that damn Thomas the Train.
Oh man.
Well, so
true.
Vincent, let's start with just take a minute and introduce yourself and give us an idea of what got you into acting.
Well, my name is Vincent M Ward. Actor. I've been in a few things, but I can't get past that Walking Dead to save my life.
Yep.
Played Oscar in the third season on The Walking Dead, but I've been on NCIS, CSI Miami, CSI, Bringing Down the House, Traffic, Ocean's 11, a few other things. What got me into acting is I got fired from a couple of jobs, got fired from General Motors, got hurt on the job. They told me I couldn't come back. Started working at a place called Champ Sports. I called myself the Black Al Bundy because I was slinging on shoes. And I was doing a great job. And one day the general manager came and said, "You're doing a great job. How far you want to take it in the company?" I was honest, but I wasn't trying to be disrespectful. I said, "I'd like to have a position like yours one day." Not saying that I wanted his position, but a position like his one day.
That's right.
2 weeks later, I was fired.
You reached too high.
yeah. Your goals was too high. And a few weeks after that, I went and saw my very first play. And at this time, I was probably 28, 29 years old. I had never even seen a play before.
Wow.
And I watched that play in that little theater called Living the Dream Theater back in Columbus, Ohio. And I fell in love with acting that day. I sat there because it was only like 20 seats. I said, I can do that. And after the play, I was introducing myself to people, not even, talking about acting, because I never thought about acting at that point. And they's like, "You should come back for an audition." I was like, "Well, what's an audition?" And they said, "It's like an interview." I was like, "All right." So I went back and I've been doing it ever since. So I started off doing theater in Columbus, Ohio.
That's awesome. Do you prefer theater over network or movies?
I love theater. I love the interaction with the, with everybody there. I love to get booed. I love to hear the, get off the stage and all that other stuff. It's just that interaction. I love that better. I love that more, rather.
Yeah. I could see that because there's an energy, I think, with the audience and being on stage.
But the thing about it is, if the audience doesn't have good energy, you can't make your performance come down because of that. And a lot of actors would do that because they want to hear the clapping and all that. You still got to you still got to go all out, even though that night the audience might not be what you want it to be.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, you're not always going to get a gem of an audience.
Yeah, the last play I actually did was a touring play with Snoop Dogg. It was Snoop Dogg, Tamar Braxton, Omar Gooding, Eric Benet, Lil JJ, Dimitri McKinney. We were on
Wow.
tour. So it was a lot of their first time doing a play, especially
Yeah.
Snoop. It was called Redemption of a Dog, and it made me feel good because I've done a lot of theater, and it made me feel good to be able to help them if they needed help on certain things, or if I saw something like them turning their back to the audience a lot, I would say something. Not because I'm trying to be a know-it-all, but because I'm a team player, and
That's
I
right.
want us all to shine, especially Snoop, since it was his first time doing a play.
Yeah. What was that like working with him?
The nicest guy you ever want to meet.
Yeah.
He's like he's all about team. He's all about people might know who I am, meaning Snoop, but I want these people to remember you guys just as much, and I knew I was going to bring the thunder because I wasn't, even though, like I said, some of them had never done a play before. By me have done a lot of plays, I couldn't come down to them. If anything, I would hype it up for them to come up to me.
Yeah.
Not saying it's Snoop or anybody, just saying period. It's like, I'm not going to come down. I'm going to get on you. I'm going to go at you.
You better keep up.
Right. To make it better, because my character was like, it was like Suge Knight.
Yeah.
It was like Suge Knight, if people know who he is. So I definitely had to come with the correct energy for that character.
Yeah. That's awesome. And what a cast.
Oh yeah, and we traveled. DC, Ohio, Chicago, Michigan. So
Yeah.
we had a good time.
Yeah. That's really awesome. So my son wanted me to ask you that he noticed that you've got to play a bodyguard in a few different roles. So he wanted to know, since you've got some downtime right now, maybe you could come and bodyguard for Too Opinionated for a while.
Yeah, okay.
Because we need security.
Bodyguarding. Nah. And the thing about it is, I'm a big guy, but I'm not gonna bust a grape at a fruit fight. I'm
That's right.
not into fighting and all that. Most of what people don't realize, most of the big guys are probably really the nicest guys.
Yeah.
If it's a big guy and he's mean or whatever, he's just a flat out bully. Because when you're a big guy, you really don't have to just come off like that, or at least you shouldn't.
That's right. Yeah, both of us remembered you from Everybody Hates Chris.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you got to play a few different roles on there.
Yeah, and the way that came about is, of course, Terry Crews played Julius on the show.
Yep.
I was actually hired to be his stand-in. And
Okay.
if you don't know what a stand-in is, for those who don't know, stand-in is basically me acting like Terry while he's in makeup or getting mic'd up or whatnot. But the difference between when I stood in for him is I did his lines. So what happened was, I would tell all the other stand-ins, because every character on every TV show, every commercial, every whatever has a stand-in, because
Right.
time is money. So they want to set up the shots with the stand-ins. But they allow us, Ali Leroy, Chris Rock, they allow us to do the parts, to do the lines, to really act out the parts. So
Right.
I told the other stand-ins, we're going to do these parts just like if we were Terry Crews or Tashina Arnold. And the reason why I said that is because we had a new director every week. So a lot of those directors would go to other shows. So I wanted those directors to remember who I was.
That's
and
smart.
to let the people on, Everybody Hates Chris, the producers, directors, executive producers, and the casting, I wanted them to know I'm just not a stand-in. I'm really an actor. And I was probably the only stand-in that had a stand-in, because I would go and do other stuff on other shows as myself. So
Right.
when it was
Right.
time for them to give, audition for smaller parts, it's like, just give it to Vincent or just give it to one of the other stand-ins. So, we had contracts. And so
Yeah,
that's how
awesome.
I was playing 7 different parts on Everybody Hates Chris.
Well, yeah, because we remembered you in different roles. And I was like, no, I think he was I think he was this. And Brett kept saying, no, I'm pretty sure he played this. So we looked it up, and you were both of them.
Yeah, security. I played a security guard. I played a police officer. I played a bus driver. I played a lot of things, but people mostly remember me from kidnapping the character Chris.
Yeah.
So that was actually a really fun episode. And it was a lot of lines, I can tell you that. It was a lot. but I was appreciative, though.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, how did you and Mark hook up? Is he doing some cards for you?
He did one of my characters that I created called Devereaux. It's like a new age Candyman, and of course, all of a sudden, Candyman is coming back. But my character is a little different from Candyman, of course. He's like more of a vigilante voodoo guy.
Yeah, it's a scary looking character. We posted when we were promoting for tonight.
I got tired of getting killed, so I'm like, I'm gonna create something for me to kill some people.
That's right.
And growing up, I've always had like horror posters in my room from remember the store Spencer's. I always sold the weird stuff in Spencer's. So even though I was a quote unquote basketball star, I never really had any basketball players on my wall. I always had Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, Chucky. And I remember my parents asking me one day, do you need to talk to us about something? I'm like, what do you mean? Well, you got all these horror people in your room. What's going on? I mean, I had like a stand-up Freddy Krueger poster.
Oh, there it is.
I had a stand-up poster of Freddy that I bought, and I just loved that stuff and never thought I would end up meeting these people or working with them.
Right.
You know, with Kane Holder and, you know, people like that. So
yeah, that's actually really cool. So are you writing the script for
well for the
Devereaux, is that the name?
Devereaux, yep, for the comic book. And I don't consider myself as a writer. I just consider myself as I create stuff. That I don't really see people that look like me do it. You know, even like for my travel show Conventioning, you never really see a Black host as the host of a travel show. So I created a travel show called Conventioning. And what people don't realize is it's over 13,000 different conventions in the world. And I'm not just talking about Comic-Con and horror conventions. I'm talking about from food to clothes to hair to sex to shoes. There's a lot of different conventions out there. And I don't want, I didn't want it to be all about celebrities. I wanted to be about your everyday person and, the guest who comes in. I want everybody to feel a little piece of the shine at the convention.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. So do you have a network of people that you help set up on the conventions?
Well, what we're doing right now, we shot 3 episodes, so we're just trying to find a home for it. I would love to be on the Travel Network or something like that.
That's a good idea.
And it's a very fun show. And my favorite convention, where it was really an expo that we filmed, was called the Abilities Con. And it was all about people who had disabilities. And, you take it for granted for stuff like your shower, like your toilet, your car.
Yeah.
And it was pretty much, showing how people with disabilities survive and get around every day. And I mean,
that's
so much.
That's a really good concept. I'm surprised that one of these channels hadn't picked it up. I mean, what's AMC doing? You got connections there?
I don't have no connections. I was just on a show that they was filming.
Well, if they can do a show like Comic Book Men, there's no reason that show wouldn't do well because people love that show.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's I'd watch that. I love I used to run comic book stores and own some back in the 90s. So I've been to a zillion conventions, and Brett and I now cover them kind of as press, and they're informative. You meet the best people. They're usually kind of hilarious.
Oh yeah,
it's entertaining. You meet some strange people. I'd watch that show. We got to make that happen.
Oh yeah, man. I'm trying to find some place to put it. So we shall see. But of course, with this pandemic thing going on,
Yeah, I know
yeah,
everything's at a standstill right now, but
yeah.
hopefully we'll get back to
But you know
normal
what?
soon.
I'm still having auditions though for some strange reason.
Really?
Yeah, I just had one. My wife had to help me the other day for a show on BET called Sisters, and I did one for Orville
Yeah.
uh, and a couple other movies. So I guess people are still just they're getting
Well,
ready for when it
you're
does
getting
end.
ready. So is that the Orville from Fox?
Yes,
Oh, I love that show.
yes. My
Yeah,
man
yeah, yeah.
Chad Coleman, Tyrese was on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you gonna play an alien?
Well, if I get the part, I
If you
just
get the
audition.
part, yeah. If you get the
Yeah.
part, I'm just assuming you're gonna get it.
Well, there it is. When I get the part, that's what I'll be playing.
That's right.
But
So
I think I'll freak out with that mask on, man. I'm kind of claustrophobic.
I heard it's kind of it's kind of rough in there.
Yeah. Even when I did the mask for Devereaux, they put the stuff on my face, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm about to go insane with this stuff. Guys, gotta
Well,
hurry up.
and you said are you looking to make that into a comic book as well?
Yeah, it's already on with Scout Comics.
Scout Comics,
Yeah.
I know them. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're supposed to be launching it this year.
No, that's exciting. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
man.
the collector in me likes that. That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Well, that's what was
happy
cool,
with it.
That's what
Thanks,
I
Mark.
contacted Vincent and had me to do the card for him. And then the next thing I know, he's got a video and he's showing off his official merchandise, and that was my card. I'm like, that's my card.
Yeah, yeah.
That's his official card.
Mark, you've been on here before, but we love your cards, and I think it's such a great concept, and I love the idea that you're trying to shine a light on people sometimes that don't have that light shine on them as well as they should. There's so many
Right.
talented people out there, and you're giving them a showcase, that they can kind of hand out and say, this was me in a role, or this is something a project that I'm working on, and it's high quality, and they're just really excellent cards. I'm not trying to get you to do one for me and Brett. I'm just just a
I've
big
already
fan.
thought about that.
Yeah, I think we got
consideration.
we got to make it happen. That's probably going to be your best seller.
Pictures. Hey. Well, and the cool thing about it, though, when I talked to Vincent was, he had a different project. He said, he's kind of getting a little worn out with the Oscar thing, I think, everybody associates him with Oscar. And I thought, awesome, give me a different character. I wanted to do that.
At the end of the day, I feel like I'm humbled by the character. People seem to like the character.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to roll with it till the wheels fall off. Especially while the show is still on. I'm not saying, hey, don't ask me about Oscar or anything like that. Of course not. Of course
so
not.
about Oscar.
Right. I know it's coming. Because I know if it wasn't for Oscar, a lot of these interviews that I'm doing, especially lately, I've been doing a lot of interviews lately for some reason.
Yeah, that's good.
If it wasn't for The Walking Dead, probably wouldn't be.
Yeah, it's such that show is such a monster, and the comic book was such a monster.
I didn't even know they had a comic book until maybe after I got done on the show.
Well, I was going to ask you that if you had actually read the storyline that they adapted the episodes you were on from.
Nah, but I'm like that. For me, I'm like that with a lot of shows. There's a lot of shows that I've been on that I'd never heard of or never seen. Like I always say, I don't put more on one show than another show.
Yeah.
For the simple fact, you're just grateful to be working.
Well, and most times you probably don't. I mean, it's a little different with Walking Dead because when you go in, that show was really popular at the time. But most of the time, oh, you didn't know that?
No, I did not know. I had never even heard of it.
Wow, that's awesome. That makes it even better.
Yeah, even with True Blood. I mean, even though I did one episode of True Blood, I didn't know what it was. I had no clue.
Yeah, if you gotta walk into some shows, those are pretty good ones to walk into.
Yeah, I know that now.
Because at its time, True Blood was as popular as Walking Dead. It just maybe didn't last quite as long. But
hell, I just finished Breaking Bad. I love Breaking Bad now. I just finished that, and
you're a little behind.
Yeah, and Ozark, I love Ozark. Man.
Yeah, Ozark's good.
Yeah,
hey, I'm supposed to be the slow one.
Yeah, you still are.
You haven't seen it, Mark?
Not all of it.
Oh man, you have to check out Ozark.
Yeah, that is a good show. Well, definitely Breaking Bad.
I haven't. Yeah.
We got to have Larry Hankin that played Dirty Joe, I think was who he played on Breaking Bad.
Skinny Pete.
Skinny Pete. That was
Skinny Pete. Yeah, he was Jesse's friend.
Yeah.
Always had that on.
That's it. Yep.
Skinny Pete. Reason I know because we just finished it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a few years since I've watched it, but he was great. And that's type of show we need to get you on.
I know.
But as a lead, you gotta be running that show.
And you know what, man? And my goal is to be on a show from the beginning to the end. I'm grateful for, 1 episode, 7 episodes, 10 episodes. But I want to really feel like I'm part of the family. That I'm part of the storylines each week. That's the goal. And, just not for shows, but even for bigger movies. So I'll even having my own show. That's my goal. So
I think that's a good goal. And I know it takes time. We talked to a lot of actors and they've all got kind of the same story. It's just, you just got to put the work in and hope that somebody sees you that likes you, or you got to make it happen yourself. You got to do what you're doing right.
One of my favorite sayings, I always tell people, even though I've done a lot, I always say, I'm not where I want to be, but I'm not where I used to be.
That's right. And, I like that.
And when I mean by that, not just, your career, but mentally, spiritually, psychologically, emotionally. Think about over the years, we've seen a lot of actors kill themselves. And you're like, Mom, you was on top of the world.
Right.
But just because you're on top of the world, you never know what that person is going through. So that's psychological, being psychologically fit and emotionally, you have to be strong for that type of stuff, man.
Yeah.
So
was there a role that you came close to but didn't get that ended up being just a monster?
Well, you know what? You never know. You don't know if you close. You go in, you have an audition. Hopefully you have a callback. And then after the callback, you either got the part or you didn't get the part.
Yeah.
You know, I think if anything, one of the hardest things is commercials. You'll be put on what they call a veil. And a veil meaning your availability. That means you're close. It might be between you and one other person. And so when they put you on a veil, they're asking, are you free for these particular days? So in your mind, you like, heck yeah, I'm in there now.
Right.
And they take you get that call, they take you off the veil. Now that hurts, man.
Oh, yeah.
Because the commercials are totally different from, movies and TV. Because those checks come and you just be like, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, it's usually a day's work, right? You go in, you do the work for a day. Yeah.
Yeah, but you getting paid for 13 weeks or more.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
And I see how a lot of people, especially if you're really good at commercials, I see how people can make a living off of it. Especially from what I hear back in the day, people was making $80,000, $90,000 off commercials. Yeah. One commercial. Imagine you booking 3 or 4 of those a year.
Man, I just need one.
Right.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I was going to say, they don't want us on there.
But you know what? I said the same thing about commercials. And I had to stop saying, ain't nobody going to book me for a commercial. And then once I finally booked my first commercial, I'm like, I'm never saying that again. Because sometimes what you put out in the atmosphere.
That's right, negativity.
Yeah,
What was the first commercial?
I did a Southwest commercial, but the main commercials that I was speaking really had a lot of lines. Was the Brevecto commercial, recently the Walmart commercial.
Yeah.
That's the one I saw recently.
I
was like, hey,
the Walmart. Yeah, I know that guy.
The quick cable commercial.
Yeah,
I was playing the coach. They really played the heck out of those commercials, man.
Oh, I did see you on that. Yeah, they did. Those were on all the time.
What champions do is what champions don't do.
That's right.
It was great TV.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
but the cool thing for me, yeah, exactly. The cool thing for me for commercials is, my family back in Ohio, I got 13 grandkids. So my family gets to see it, especially with the Brevecto commercial, because it was like a biker gang and this little bitty dog. So my grandkids really love that commercial, not because of me, but because of the dog.
You're the cool granddad now.
Yeah, man.
What do they call you? What's your title?
Paw.
Me too. I'm a paw.
Paw.
I feel like one. Does that matter? Does that count?
Yeah, paw. And like my two oldest granddaughters, I had a movie premiere for my movie called Mirror Mirror.
Yeah.
Back in what was it, like maybe October, November? And they were my dates for the movie premiere. And it was so cool because they were so excited.
Yeah, that's probably a big night for them.
She just held my hand the whole time and sitting there with her arm behind my head, sitting there and kissing me. I'm like, what is going on? You're really my date.
Yeah, that's great.
They had a great time taking pictures on the red carpet and stuff. So I just want to be a positive example for them and just try to leave a legacy, a positive legacy for them.
Are they, is your family still in Dayton? I saw where you were from Dayton. Yeah. That's not too far away from us.
No.
Oh, where are you located?
I'm just outside of Charleston, and Mark, Mark's just a few miles down the road from where we're at.
Yeah, man. Born and raised in Dayton, Ohio. Been out here in California for 20 years. 20 years in August.
Wow.
So
that's not easy.
I know people who come and go.
Yep.
And went back home because they wanted it like that. And it won't happen like that. If anything happens that fast for you, then you might want to look out for it.
That's right. Yeah, I saw you were in Ocean's 11. I mean, what was it like working with that cast? Because talk about a cast.
Man, every day we play basketball.
Really?
Brad Pitt, Matt Damon, Don Cheadle, Bernie Mac. And the crazy thing about it, I only had like a 5-day contract. And I got extra 5 days just to play basketball with them. And the way that happened is I told, oh my God, I can't believe I just slipped. His name just slipped. Not Matt Damon. Shoot. I forgot his freaking name. Well, I had a 5-day contract and I told him, I said, this is my last day. He said, don't worry about it, Vince. I'll take care of it. And I ended up getting extra 5 days just to play ball with pay.
Well, you can't beat that. Well, so which one of them could actually play ball?
The one I can't remember his damn name. I can't believe I can't remember it. Oh, I'm so embarrassed.
So it wasn't Matt and it wasn't Brad. So
no.
Who's that leave? George
Clooney.
Yeah.
George Clooney.
He could play a little bit?
Oh, George can play. Matt could too.
Really?
Yeah. The only reason they kept me around because I was their competition. But if I knew what I knew today, I'd be best friends with them. Not because I wanted anything from them, but just because we had some things in common. And I'm the type of person, when I'm your friend, I'm your friend. I'm not your friend to try to get something from you.
That's right.
And
That's right.
I remember one day going to lunch, and you had the truck. The truck was up kind of high, And I never forget this. We had lobster tails that day.
Yeah.
And me and George Clooney was in line together. And the guy gave me this little bitty lobster tail. I'm looking at George's, I'm looking at mine. George look at mine, look at his, and say, "Hey man, why would you give this big guy, such a small lobster tail?" Man, that dude apologized to George Clooney so much, but never apologized to me. He dissed me, not George.
He worried about George.
Right, but it's things like that that I remember, and it's things like that that I don't take for granted. Just like I remember,
Right.
With Terry Crews, going back to Everybody Hates Chris, it would be times that he would be in his in his trailer, and they forget to tell him that it's time to have lunch. And I would go tell him, I say, "Hey bro, you eat lunch with whatever. Not about kissing his butt, not about trying to get favoritism or anything. But you get to that point when people do that to you, for you, you appreciate it.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's how I know I'm going to be with my stand-in or whoever's on the show with me. It's all about leading by example.
That's right. Yeah, you got to pay it forward a little bit.
Most definitely.
Yeah,
and I'm ready to do that.
Yeah, that's a great philosophy. Well, Vincent, this has been great. I really appreciate you guys coming on the show with us today. Mark always delivers. He always brings the best people.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you, Mark. Thank you, buddy.
I told you.
Hey, before you guys go, Mark, let everybody know where they can take a look at the dead cards and what you're working on now. And if people haven't seen them, we put them up on the website, and I mean they're gorgeous. They're really just wonderful.
Great quality. It's not like those thin cards or anything like that. It's something that you can be proud of.
Yeah, absolutely.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. Anything new you're working on?
I mean, I've done a few things. It's of course everything is kind of slow right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Actually, I think probably because of Vincent, I had Mr. Churchill contact me.
Thomas. I just talked to him about an hour ago. He has 2 more movies coming up with the Amityville horror series.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Yeah, so he has one. I think they're dealing with zombies, vampires, and werewolves. So, but yeah, Thomas is an awesome guy. I work with him. He just did my other movie that I created called The Stepdaddy. Thomas was the director for that, and I actually met Thomas on his film called Big Effin' Rat. It should be coming out real soon.
Yeah, I've heard of that one. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's about a big effing rat.
Well, of course.
That rat was huge.
Oh,
I'm gonna tell you a funny story right quick. So I play a ranger in the movie, and I had to ride a horse. So I was already kind of nervous about riding this horse. I've been riding him all day. I'm thinking I'm cool now because I got to, I'm like, yeah, I'm riding this thing. So the horse was starting to get tired because we had been there all day. But that night, we probably started about 11 o'clock in the morning. By this time, it's like 2 o'clock in the morning, and the horse finally sees the rat. Man, that horse went crazy because the rat was huge. And so the horse wasn't listening to me anymore. So I was like, hey, sorry, I'm getting off this horse right now. So they ended up having to have the guy who brought the horse kind of dress up like me. The horse wouldn't even listen to him. He almost threw him off. So that's my horse story, and I'm never getting on another horse.
When does that movie come out?
Rat around.
Is it that comes out pretty soon, right?
Hopefully. It's been a minute now.
Yeah, depending on how things go. But yeah, Mark, give the website for Dead Cards.
It's www.thedeadcards.com, and I do a lot with Facebook and Instagram as well. That's a good place to catch.
Yeah.
Yep, it's a good place to catch more of the latest. But yeah, that's been my most recent. He's promoting a film, so he contacted me Vincent was, when I got looking, I was like, hey, there's Vincent's in there. Now I know the connection. So, yeah, thankful for that. And I definitely, I appreciate Vincent. If you see Vincent, if you get a chance to see Vincent out, go talk to him. He's an awesome guy. He remembered me after that was that May? Went back and saw him in October, and he remembered who I was, and then we kind of connected with the Devil Row thing. So that was cool, and I certainly appreciate that. And and for me, it's humbling to get to do that. I think I have a pretty clear idea of what he's trying to do, and not just with Devil Row. I've watched a lot of what he's, a lot of the conversations that he's had and podcasts and things like that. I think I have a good idea of what he's trying to do. And, I'm humbled by the fact that he's using my cards for stuff like that. Humbled by the fact that the people he's connected with are contacting me. So that's really cool. So I really appreciate that.
It's just the beginning. It's just the beginning, man.
That's right. That's right.
I always say when I get on, when I make it, everybody gets on and makes it.
See? I love that. Well, and it's not like you're putting out junk, Mark. That stuff is quality. Right. That was a terrific idea. Yeah. Oh, all right, Vincent. I thought I said I was finishing up, but I'm gonna ask you one Walking Dead question because I forgot. I was supposed to ask you one for Brett. So you had the big scene with Andrew Lincoln, with Rick, where you had to kind of protect him from the ambush for that. So do you have a good Andrew Lincoln story? Because I'm assuming you got to spend a little bit of time with him.
He does. He does. He's got to tell it at the restaurant.
At the restaurant.
That's my favorite story.
I was sitting there next to him. I had a glass of wine, and I took one sip. And all of a sudden, this guy started speaking in this British accent, and I'm looking at him. And I look at him. I look at my wine. I look back at him. I said, hey, man. I said, why are you talking like that? What's your accent? He said, you didn't know I was British. I was like, what? I've been working with the guy for 2 months at this time, and I had no clue because he was always Rick, or the Rick voice. Yeah. He was not Andrew Lincoln. He was
Rick.
So that's great.
Tripped me out, man, because they do. He's not the only one though. They do such a great job with that Southern accent.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he really does. I'm glad I asked that. That's funny.
Yeah, man. But that part with the gun, I got to give props to Lou Temple. Lou played Axel. Lou is the one who taught me how to do that whole gun flip thing, or else I wouldn't have never thought of that.
Oh, nice.
And I get it. I nailed it on the first try.
Yeah, it looked good.
Because in my mind, I was like, please do not drop this man's gun. Because they're going to kill you right then and there if you drop it. And from what I hear, I'm probably the only one who really got to hold his gun.
Oh, yeah. That's probably right.
I don't know. So I was like,
yeah. Yeah.
And my wife and my family members call it the crazy eyes because I was like,
oh, that's terrific. Well, yeah, Vincent, thank you so much. And do you have a website, or where can our listeners and viewers find you?
On social media, everything is the same. Vincent M Ward.
Forget the M.
Don't forget it, because another guy gonna hit you up and tell you leave him alone. And I do have a website, www.vincentmward.com.
Yeah, wonderful.
And you can see him on IMDb as well. He's got a nice list.
Thanks for bringing that up. Yeah,
things on there.
Yeah, IMDb is a pretty good resource.
IMDb.
Yep, IMDb.
A lot of people always mix up the two letters, IMBD.
Oh, IMBD.
BB. There you go.
That might be me as well.
Yeah, I had to practice on it a lot of times.
Yeah. Hey, I get it. That's awesome. Well, thank you both so much. This has been a blast.
I appreciate it, Michael.
A lot of fun. Yeah, and
yeah, definitely.
Stay safe and wear your protective gear and all that good stuff. Hopefully we get out soon.
Most definitely.
Mike,
all right,
thanks for having us on here. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, this has been a thrill for me. This definitely breaks up the monotony of trying to find something to watch or to do.
Yeah. I told you we'd have fun with Vincent. He's got some good stories.
Yeah.
We needed longer.
Yeah.
That's what we need.
Yeah. Well, you got to come back.
Will do.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys, hold on just a second. Right. I'll hit pause for us. All right, so that was Vincent M Ward and Mark, our buddy from the Dead Cards. So hopefully you guys really enjoyed that. That was a fun interview for me. So that was a good time. So that's our show for this week. Please go on Facebook and check out the Dead Cards. Those are wonderful, and that's such a good idea. Mark's done a great job on that. And keep an eye out for Devereaux from Vincent. That sounds very intriguing and exciting to me. So I think that'll be a lot of fun. So check that out. And Brett will be back with me next time. I know you guys miss him when he's gone. So we'll talk to you again real soon. Appreciate it. Bye.